I don't make videos like this. Not very often, not personal. I it makes it bothers me. It's sad to see, but it's been this way for as long as the internet's been out, from as long as I can remember. Um, you know, porters fighting about what other porters done, what they did or didn't do to a saw. Um, you look around business wise, you look everywhere around you. Um, do you see a gas station or two gas stations in a small town on the internet, on the phone, yelling and screaming and carrying on about what the other gas station is doing? Would you go to those gas stations if they were doing that? It's it's really foolish, guys. The whole thing, it hurts everybody, not just the people involved in it. It hurts everyone. It hurts the industry. Makes us look stupid. And you know, I hope I don't sound stupid. I hope that people take this to heart. Um, Improve your own business model by you know doing things correctly. Um, and and even as a consumer, um, know what you're getting into. Understand it. Talk with the porters. You know, now are the porters arguing over quality of work, or are they arguing over um, a performance aspect? Nobody's saws are going to perform the same. Every porter out there does something a little different, and I think that's a good thing. Um, I don't I don't hound everybody to I'm the best. That's not me. I don't talk about my saws. I don't brag about my saws. I just show them. I let my saws talk for me. Um, I show some of my work. I show some of what I do. I've made porting videos. I gave them. They're on the internet. Um, and I've been attacked by a lot of porters. I've got caught up in this same mess. And in the end, it's no good for no one. It's no good for the consumers. It's no good for the porters. It just makes everyone look stupid. We're all arguing over nothing. So Porter one ports a saw, sends it to the guy, owns it. He runs it and he likes it. Then he gets a saw from Porter two, and it performs a little bit better. So as a consumer, what do you do? Do you ask Porter one to see if you can get a little more out of it? Do you sell the saw as it is? Do you just buy your saws from then on from Porter 2 and nobody else? Um, the thing is that if it's not about the quality of the work and it's only about the performance of the saw, does that make the porter a bad person? Does it does it put him in a position that no one should buy a saw from him? Some porters are better at certain models than others, and other porters are better at other models. So you might want to buy one model saw from this porter and another model saw from a different porter. Nothing wrong with either porter. They both do good work. It's just this guy produces this model better than this guy, and this guy produces this model better than that guy. Is there anything wrong with that? No. You know, I've got a lot of friends that are porters. I got guys that don't like me that are porters. Um, this is the world. We got to deal with it, right? Um, I would rather work with people than against people. It's much more beneficial in the long run. You know, so arguing over a port in a saw, and as far as I know, there's no reliability issues here brought up at all. All it is that he didn't port one whole port in the saw. I do that all the time. There's there's no need to do anything with that port. If it's where you want it, why mess with it? If messing with it's going to make it worse, then it's a good idea not to mess with it. Just how I look at things. I'm not telling everybody that they got to listen to me. I'm just another guy that does things my own way. I think everybody should do things their own way. That's how we learn. I don't follow everybody else's how they do it. I do my own thing. And I just let my saws speak for themselves. If someone wants to tear my saw down and look at it, they're going to tear it down and look at it. I'm not going to stop them. It's not my saw. They do whatever they want with it. If somebody takes a saw of mine, has me port it, never runs it, takes it to another porter, and tears it all apart, so that porter can bash me on something, anything in that saw, okay, I'll never port another saw for you ever again. You're you're setting me up. You're gonna find a fault somehow, somewhere, some way. Or you'll put a fault in it and say, he did it. Been done before. Been done to other porters before. We've all seen this stuff. These wars are not good for anyone. If we can't get along with somebody, we shouldn't be saying anything. If there's a porter out there who is creating liability or well, even a liability problem, but a longevity problem on a saw that this thing is going to eat itself up, something should be said. But if the longevity of this saw, there's nothing there that's going to harm the saw in longevity, then why say anything? The saw is a good saw. It runs well. It cuts wood. Does everything it's supposed to do, just a little slower than the other guy. So what? So what? We're not all the same person. We're not all trying to be perfect. We're not perfect. We're human. We make mistakes. We make a mistake, we try to make it right. Sometimes we're not even given a chance to make it right. And that really sucks. And especially when you're getting hammered on and the consumer didn't give you a chance to make things right. And for the consumers, you're going to choose to do what you want. And I do the same thing on things that I buy. We're all human. We all do the same things. I'm not hammering on anybody about their decisions or what they done or how they done it. And I don't want any of this to come across that way. It's not. I would much rather see everybody get along and think about your business ideas here as to, before you say something, how is this going to affect my business? How is this going to affect my reputation? So many times I look at why one porter attacks another porter. Well, he didn't do anything in that port. So what? Right? Is it going to hurt the saw because he didn't do anything in that port? Understand what I'm trying to say? So what if it doesn't quite perform the same? It really doesn't matter. You can take a saw that cuts 2 seconds faster, 3 seconds faster, 10 seconds faster in small wood, put long bars on both those saws, and they'll switch positions. The other saw will end up cutting better with a long bar. One saw runs better with a short bar, the other saw runs better with a long bar. What's the problem? What's the customer want? Does he want a saw a long bar? Does he want a saw a short bar? Maybe that determines which porter you buy a saw from. Not because he didn't grind in a port. You know, I still see guys polishing ports. Um, that's an old myth. It's 50 years old. We don't polish ports anymore. I haven't polished a port in 30 years, 25 years. It does nothing for the saw. It's a waste of time, meaningless waste of time. Um, a sanded finish or slightly rough finish is great. It's, recently I posted a video of a 372 Husky cylinder that I got, a Grandali cylinder. And, the old Molly cylinders are no longer available, and this Grandali is available for it. And I get the cylinder and open up the box, and the ports look like cheese graters, like you rubbed your hand across it, it'd draw blood. And I was like, wow, what's this? I hadn't seen it. But I was informed by several other porters that most of the 5 Series Huskies come that way now. Oh, geez. That's news to me. I don't work on those. You know? Interesting. I didn't know. Can't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Right? Why are we polishing ports? Manufacturers are making them rougher. Why aren't we following some of this kind of stuff? I've learned everything that I know on my own. I've been at this long before the internet. And my first advice that I got from a guy that race saws, the only advice I got from the guy that race saws, was you raise the exhaust and you lower the intake. Oh, okay. That's all you do, huh? Well, that doesn't work very well. And so I experimented with lots of other things. Um, you know, I looked at a lot of stuff. I studied a lot of other engines, not just chainsaws, other engines out there, other 2-strokes, 4-strokes, the same. Looked at a lot of different stuff. And all that stuff has something to teach you about what you're attempting to do with the motor. And so, when I first started on the internet and I started posting stuff and I started going to these little local get-togethers and races and stuff, and I'd go to a race and I'd win everything there. And I'm just bringing my work saws right out of the woods. And I'm racing against some so-called race saws, and I'm winning and I'm placing. And, I don't win every race, but I was winning quite consistently and placing in the top 3 almost always. And everybody was like, oh my God, what do you do to your saws? And, eventually I started telling everybody and showing everybody and things that I used to do or did, still do today. And to tell you the truth, I really wish I had just kept that all secret. It caused more headaches and more problems and more doubts and more arguments and more crap than you could shake a stick at. And if I'd have just kept that all secret and just kept doing what I always do, a lot of these people would have never figured out of how I made my saws run so much better. I don't know, But I let it all out. Everything that I do, and I do a lot of different things, and I still do more to these saws than most guys do. And one piece of advice that I want to give consumers: if you talk to a porter and the guy says, "Well, yeah, I can do 4 or 5 saws a day," you know what? It takes me 4 or 5 days to do one saw. I take my time. I'm not in a hurry. I'm I'm very anal about being correct. I don't want my saws failing. I don't, you know, and why be in a hurry? If your guy out there wants to get into porting for a get rich quick scheme, do something else. This you're gonna get hammered in a short time because your saws don't hold up because you're cutting corners or you're putting in aftermarket parts. Just go do something else. This isn't gonna be for you. You really got to have an understanding of what makes these motors run in order to make an improvement on the damn thing in the first place. So, you know, it's just my advice. You're going to get a name and a reputation you don't want if you start producing junk. And you really put everything into it that you got to do it right. Um, I don't do this to get rich. I, I'm not getting rich doing one saw a week. Um, Sometimes two, depending on the model, but most of them are one saw a week. You know, an old 660 I can do quicker, 440s I can do quicker, you know. But the new stuff takes a lot more time. There's more ports, there's more work, there's more effort put into it all the way around. So, and they have to also pass I have an MGD one I hook up, and they have to pass. And if they don't, I have to make changes so that they do pass on that, for fuel trims and stuff. You know, any of the Mtronic, fuel injected 500s, whatever, still have to pass. Now I can part one that won't pass that will way outcut what I'm producing. I mean, I can make a 400 really freaking run. I can make a 500 really freaking run, but it's going to be very lean because it can't. The electronics, computer, whatever you want to call all this junk in there, right? Can't compensate that far. It's not programmed to. Simple as that. So I have to stay within those realms of what I'm doing, and making a saw run more efficient helps. You get more power out of a more efficient running motors. So that's really what I'm trying to do is efficiency, right? If we can get more out of the fuel we're putting into it, we don't need more fuel, right? So, anyways, guys, let's not fight over dumb stuff. I don't care if you didn't grind in a port. I don't care if you didn't polish the port. If it's not an integrity problem, a longevity problem, something that's going to destroy the saw, it's not a problem. If it's just a performance thing, this guy's saw cuts a little faster than this guy's saw, one, the other. Doesn't mean anything. It's not a problem. You know, why are we hounding people who are doing good work? They're just not getting the same performance. If we change our porting just slightly, we'd have the same performance. You'll figure it out. You know, and like I said, maybe that one running on the short bar, Porter 1 saw is faster on the short bar. Same saw, Porter 2 is faster on long bar. Now it's up to what the customer wants. Porter 1, Porter 2, short bar, long bar. Doesn't matter if we ground in a port or not. Like I said, I do that all the time. 660 exhaust port. Already too big. Intake port's already too big. I put epoxy in them. Make them smaller, make them flow. You know, we don't have to get stupid with stuff. We don't have to grind everything out. We don't have to hog every port out. Make everything bigger, bigger, bigger. Bigger isn't always better. If we're better off to leave a port alone, then we'll leave the port alone. You know, what's a consumer paying for? Me putting some grinding marks in a port, polishing on it, or performance? Do you want it to perform, or do you want it to look pretty on the inside? I think performance outweighs prettiness, but you know, we do have a lot of shelf queens out there. Um, just my thoughts, guys. Um, we don't need to fight over this stuff. I show videos of other porters' work, but I don't bash porters anymore. I'm not going to, unless it's truly a problem where it's just going to destroy itself. Otherwise, I'm not interested in bashing other porters. Everybody can do their own thing. I do my own thing. I don't, you know, I follow some of the guys. I read some of their posts. I don't post much on other people's sites and pages and stuff. I've got my own page on Facebook. I do whatever I do on there. It ain't a whole lot, but it shows my saws. YouTube shows my saws. That's all I expect. No more fighting, no more arguing, no. Life is so much easier this way. Just be a little humble. Let it slide off. If you're worried about it hurting your business, hey, it's going to hurt the other guy's business too. Just let him hammer you. It don't matter. He can sit over there and scream and yell and make up excuses and just tell him to have fun. You know? That's what I done. Life's easier. Somebody doesn't like you posting on their page, don't. Sign off. Go to another one. Don't like that forum? Sign out. Go to another one. It don't matter. You know, you'll fit in somewhere and everything will be great and the business will be good and you don't have to worry about that other asshole that was always hounding you. It's just easy. He'll go from hounding you to hounding the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. It's his character. It's who he is, how he is. Is he going to change? Because of my video? I doubt it. But you can change, right? I don't know, guys. Like I said, I've been at this a long, long time. I've seen it all. I've seen the special built saws. We take a special built saw to the race and or to a get together and we brag that saw up upside down the other and and then we go back to the shop and we do half the work to the saws that we ship to the customers. Make money fast. Well, the shit comes back sooner or later, and everybody talks about it behind the scenes. And after a while, the guy's wondering why he doesn't have any business anymore. So don't worry about them. They'll take care of themselves. They'll cut their own throats. It is what it is. Move on. I hope somebody got something out of this. Both porters and consumers. Like for a consumer, know who you're dealing with, know his reputation. If you can run some of his saws at a get together or something, um, it's great. You know, you get the feel of it anyway. You know, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. It's everybody builds something different. What do you like? What do you want? You know, and it's you know it's a good thing that every porter out there does things a little bit different. If we all done the same damn thing, it'd be pretty boring. So, we We don't need to fight about it. There's nothing to fight about. Not in my mind. Um, just do your own thing. Don't worry about it. Let your saws talk for you. You don't have to say a word. Start the thing up. Cut some wood. You know? Why not? That's what the customer's interested in anyway, right? Cutting wood. Till next one.